Hello and welcome to Getting to Know the Garnet. I'm your host, Brandon Hodnett, and today I'm joined by our new Associate Director of Athletics, Val Gomez, who just started her first day at Swarthmore on Monday. Val, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me. It is day three for me. So I'm excited to be able to engage with you in this way and hopefully get to know everybody on campus and throughout the community a little bit better.
Started here, we're super excited, and I just want to first ask you what what was it that kind of inspired you to want to work in college athletics in the first place?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was a student athlete at Lafayette College, and I focused a lot of my time on developing my craft, right, as a basketball player, and I didn't necessarily spend as much time as I probably should have thinking about my career. And Lafayette didn't have any kind of sports marketing, sports management program, so I didn't really consider that too much. And upon graduating, I was really thinking about what do I love most, right? What are my biggest passions? And I quickly realized that, there wasn't anything that I was, about which I was passionate as far as a career or pursuing a career as college athletics. So that was kind of my starting point, and I actually started as an assistant coach for one of my former Lafayette teammates up in the Scranton area at Keystone College, Division III school, and I was fortunate enough to transition into a full time administrative role there. And again, very quickly, I realized that coaching wasn't my path per se, but that administration is something I really enjoyed and wanted to turn into a career.
What were the other stops along the way in this process?
Yeah, so I started at Keystone College, as I said, first as an
Mhm.
assistant basketball coach and transitioned into the athletics coordinator there. From there, I went to Montclair State University. There was a gap in there, but Montclair State University, Division III in New Jersey, was my next stop. And then I went to the Northeast Conference office, Division I conference office. And then after 2 years there, I segued into one of those Northeast Conference members at Fairleigh Dickinson University, Division I up in North Jersey. Short stint there, and one of my kind of dream roles at Seton Hall opened up, and a mentor I had, filled me in on that position, and it wasn't a tough sell at all since I had my eye on Seton Hall for a while and really wanted to pursue sports marketing. So I had the opportunity a couple years ago to join Seton Hall, where I began my doctoral program in higher ed leadership as well. So after kind of getting a bunch of different experiences at different levels, I realized I wanted to get back to Division III in the type of role exactly that I got at Swarthmore. So it kind of came full circle as far as getting back to Division III in Pennsylvania, and it's something I'm really excited about. And the path is different for everyone, but I'm pretty proud of the work I've done.
And are you from Pennsylvania originally?
I am, yeah, I'm from Allentown,
Okay,
so
nice.
not too far.
Yeah, yeah. So Lafayette was pretty close to that.
Yes, it
Yeah,
was. Yep.
yeah,
Couple towns over, which was,
yeah.
not my initial plan as a high school student. I
Mhm.
thought I'd be going farther away, but it ended up being the best thing for me, and I would not have changed that at all.
While you were at Lafayette, you played on the women's basketball team. What were some of your favorite memories during that time?
Oh man, it was really a rebuilding effort, and that was made clear during the recruiting process. And I think my classmates and I in the class of 2008, we were pitched this idea that the program needed a culture shift and really needed to turn around. And we really all bought into those efforts, and we wanted to be the class that turned around not only the wins and losses but the culture. And there were four of us, and we knew that the season prior they won one game. It was the last game of the season, but we really bought in not only to the institution, right, the academic side, but in the coach's vision for the program. And my senior year, we were 500 regular season. So kind of that overall, progress of the 4 years. And like I said, we knew coming in that it was a rebuilding effort, and we fully bought into it. And I think we took ownership of it and embraced the hard. And, you know, of course, we would have liked to win more. You always do. But I think we made a lot of progress in our time.
What would you say your strongest suits were on the court as a player?
Oh man, I loved defense.
Yeah.
I had a couple major injuries to my knee with a few
Mm.
surgeries, so I didn't I didn't get to develop or play as much as I would have liked in some of those seasons. But I always loved defense. I loved the shell drill. There was just something about stopping the opponent that I loved, and I think I loved it more so because defense is all about effort,
Hmm.
and it's about studying the scout report, all effort, getting to your spots, beating the pass, and that's just something I fell in love with.
Nice. And I know, we're not playing noon hoops right now, but noon hoops is a pretty big deal at Swarthmore. Do you still play it all anymore? Will we see you on the court?
I think I would have a lot of conditioning work to do before I join you all. Um, I would have to probably strengthen a little bit. I haven't played in a while just because of some lingering injuries and
Okay.
whatnot. But I'll probably watch for sure.
Yeah, I haven't played personally since March or whenever everything shut down, but yeah. Um, so, as a student, having the experience of being a student athlete, how do you think that has prepared you in life as an administrator now?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's a question that's been posed to me a lot on different committees and alumni panels and whatnot. And you hear a lot about the time management and the dedication, right, and overcoming adversities, and all those things are true. But some of the developed skills that I find that I've used the most upon graduating is just the practice behavior of constantly self evaluating, and your game plan, your performance, and you carry that into your professional life. So you might have a game plan for the first half, and at halftime you reassess, right, and you evaluate what worked, what didn't, and you make adjustments. And I think that just learned behavior and developing that skill and that ability to reflect and adjust has probably served me well and served me the most in my career.
I do kind of want to jump back and ask you two more questions about Lafayette, your time at
Sure.
Lafayette. Um, Lafayette, pretty well known for its rivalry with Lehigh. What was that like for you, as a student athlete, and just being on campus for those rivalry games?
Yeah, that was so incredibly fun, and it's something you buy into really before you even come to campus. It's something as a local I was aware of, growing up, that rivalry. So I was very excited to be a part of it. I was fortunate in that during my 4 years, our football team was very successful. So I believe we won all 4 years, and as far as the head-to-head matchups, and I think we split the basketball series with them over my 4 years. So it was always the most crowded game, the most excited fans, the biggest crowds, just kind of the most hype for those matchups. And I always said if I wasn't a student athlete in college, I probably would have gone to a big time sports school and been like a super fan. And so those matchups were a little taste of what that might have been like.
And I think when we met during your interview for this job, I think we learned that maybe you're a house divided. I think there was a Lehigh diploma hanging behind you. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so my mom was a teacher in the Bethlehem School District. She was an ESL teacher for most of her career and then became an elementary principal also in the Bethlehem School District. And she got her doctorate from Lehigh. And of course, we are incredibly proud of her for that accomplishment. So every now and then I do wear Lehigh clothes just around the house to support her. But yeah, she actually went back in her 50s while she was working to get her doctorate. And I told her at the time I'm really proud of her, but I would never do that. And here I am. So I guess never say never.
Yeah. Well, you're getting your doctorate out of the way now, which is good, and yeah, that's really impressive for her. Um, so, okay, last question about Lafayette. I promise. Every time I hear Lafayette, I always think of America's favorite fighting Frenchman from Hamilton. Are you a Hamilton fan? Have you watched the musical?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm obsessed with Hamilton. I actually took my mom to see it back last winter, and it was such an incredible experience. I love Broadway and musicals as it is, and the history element, the historical element, the ties to Lafayette. It was just an awesome experience. I've watched the live recording on TV that's been streaming several times, and I'm looking forward, once everything is safe again, to take some of my other family members to see it.
Well, I did want to ask you, what is the first thing you'll do when the pandemic is over? Would it be that, or do you have other plans?
Oh, it would definitely be travel, take some kind of vacation. Yeah, I've erred on the safer side, and I haven't really taken the time to refresh and recharge this summer. I think a lot of us are seeing that, and that's kind of why that pandemic fatigue is setting in.
Mhm.
So it would definitely be some kind of little getaway. Not doesn't need to be super exotic or anything, but just some kind of getaway would be
Yeah.
nice out of town.
Are you a beach person, mountain? What do you?
I am a beach person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely. Jersey has turned me into a beach person.
Oh yeah. Very good. What's your favorite Jersey shore?
I I love Point Pleasant.
Okay.
I know it's pretty popular because there's a little boardwalk there, but it's very like family friendly,
Mm-hmm.
and there's enough there, as far as food and shops and whatnot, but it's not overly crowded. Or it gets crowded, but it's not overly loaded with shops and restaurants to where it's unbearable.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually go to either Seagirt or
Okay.
Belmar, those beaches. Yeah. So you're working on your doctorate of education at Seton Hall. Can you tell us about what that program is like, how much of it you have left, and if you've decided what your dissertation will be about? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like you said, it's a doctorate of education, and it's higher education leadership management and policy. And I'm in the EDD track as opposed to the PhD track. So the EDD program focuses on more practical topics as opposed to the PhD, which is more research based. So if you're going into academia, you might more likely be in the provost track. So it really offers a range of courses and topics from right now I'm in diversity in higher ed and survey research to everything you might need as far as research for your dissertation, and then several electives as far as program evaluation, like I said, diversity, all kinds of special topics in higher ed, finance of higher ed. So it really covers a broad spectrum. And I've tried to power through and kind of overload myself with courses the past year or so, especially during the summers.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 2 courses remaining this coming spring before I begin my dissertation work in the summer. So I'm really excited. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Just kind of sacrificing your free time for a few years for that long-term payoff.
What would you say your sport allegiances are? I know you hail from Allentown. Are you a Philadelphia sports fan, or who do you root for?
I am, yeah, Philly sports, Sixers, Eagles. I'm not a huge hockey person, but I would default to the Philly teams for sure.
That's good. I know we do have some Dallas Cowboys fans in this administration and coaching staff, so you do have to watch out for them. But
you find Dallas Cowboys fans everywhere.
yeah,
I don't know if it's because they're America's team, quote unquote, but you find them everywhere. It's kind of funny. We have, being in Jersey, you have a mix of the New York market,
mm-hmm.
and then you have some Philly fans that are from South Jersey. So we do have a little bit of a rift internally in every department, but it's fun.
Yeah. What else do you like to do in your free time?
So I haven't had a lot of free time the past couple of years, but the past year or so, it's just been trying to get outside, get some fresh air and some sunshine as much as possible. When I do have more downtime, just kind of exploring new areas, new places, whether it's restaurants, parks, beaches, just kind of some sites to explore. And that's something I haven't really done in a little while because I've been busy with the studies, but I do like to write poetry for fun. something that I need to revisit. It's a kind of a therapeutic outlet.
And so, Val, what would you say? We're still looking forward to you coming to Swarthmore for the first time on campus. But what would you say? What kind of vision or dream do you have for Swarthmore athletics once you get started here? Like, what are some big picture hopes and dreams for Swarthmore athletics?
Yeah, great question. In the few days that I've been on board, as well as kind of doing my research ahead of time and throughout the interview process, I've learned quite a bit about the culture of the institution, not just the athletic department, and how it has evolved for the better and over the past several years. And I think my passions, I love everything about this job. It's the responsibilities and the tasks are exactly what I wanted in my next step. But the area that, about which I'm most passionate is that culture piece. It's working with the student athletes on educational and development programs, and really being one of the bridges from the athletic department to the rest of campus and our larger community. I love that culture piece, and kind of from what I've learned, it's been moving in the right direction, and I really hope to be a major force of keeping that going and leading it, further down the road.
That's really good. Um, well, that's really all the questions that I had for you. Are there any other thoughts that you wanted to share with the Swarthmore community, as you're getting started here?
I don't think so. Just that I'm very excited. I'm reaching out to as many people as I possibly can within the first couple days. But I just want to let everyone know that I'm here. My email's on the directory. So if you are looking to reach out, please don't hesitate. I would love to hear from anyone and everyone.
Val, thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate getting to know you a little bit better, and I can't wait to meet you in person.
Thank you. I appreciate it.